All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the pre-market show. I hope everyone's having an amazing morning. Hope you had a great day yesterday. Good morning, Norm. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Carlos. I am doing great. I hope everybody out there is as well, both in the chat room and on YouTube. I'll mention this again in a minute,
Hmm.
but we've accumulated a hater that gives us a thumbs down for everybody on our channel before a word is spoken on anything. So if you guys would be kind enough
To
over there on
offset that.
YouTube to throw up as many thumbs up, hit that like button as many times as you can to offset that guy. And I don't know if it's a ex-girlfriend of yours or something or what that's
Not me,
found
man.
you.
Not me.
But if you guys would throw up that like button, hit that like button, I'd sincerely appreciate it. Thank you.
Man, that is something else. You know what? In the
Just
past, and not to get off topic too much, that used to bother the crap out of me. When
Oh, I
I
couldn't
was doing
care
a lot of
less, dude.
recaps at that time. You were doing a lot of recaps too. We're pretty busy now, and I'll see these thumbs down. I'm like, I don't think I have ever thumbs down a video on YouTube. I just don't. I just won't watch it. I'll go to something else. Again, it takes a lot of effort to do that, I guess, but it is what it is.
Yeah, it bothered me at first, man, when we first started doing this and
Yeah,
recaps and
yeah,
everything else, and hate mail that I've gotten and whatever. I don't care.
yeah.
If you're gonna waste enough time on something you dislike before a word is spoken to show up and put a thumbs down, oh well, I guess you don't have anything better to do.
And then why would you keep showing up to begin with? Like that's like torture, right? You
Yeah,
don't like the show, why are you here?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right, guys, enough rant about that. With that said, we had
And famous
yeah.
quote that I heard Peter say yesterday: "The opposite of love is not hate. The opposite of love is apathy."
Mm,
So
that's a good one. Yeah, that's a real
which
good one.
means you wouldn't be showing up at all. Anyway,
Yeah.
we're shooting the shit here a little bit because we've got once again another gappers list that's questionable at best. But
It
yesterday worked out.
is.
It just shows you need just one stock. That Beyond
Mm,
the Meat trade was phenomenal yesterday.
it sure was, guys, and we're gonna get into that right now. And Norm, just one thing, man. If you're going to do what you did yesterday, where you let me go through this entire list and have a hard time, and then last minute you just tell me, "Oh, Carlos, just look at BYND." Please save us some time early on this show. So, um,
Deal, brother.
no, a question. I used to work at Hire. I used to work at this company for 12 years. I was with them for a long time. So, but let's not get into that now, guys. Let's take a look at what we had yesterday. A few stocks traded well. BYND was for a lot of us in our chat room the trade of the day. At least at the market open, right? This thing was so beautiful. Andrew took this trade as well. I took this trade. Norm, I think almost everyone in the chat room took this trade. My worst mistake was continuing to trade and giving some back on some other really choppy trades. But this was the one that traded amazing yesterday. Great pre-market action. This is when it was called out by Norm to our attention here at 9 a.m. Just takes off with all this volume. Nothing happened before that, and then becomes a beautiful market open here, a beautiful pop. It gets choppy after that. Didn't do a whole lot, but this is all you needed here. This was so clean on several strategies. I was looking for the 5 minute open range breakup, but you also had a 2 minute open range breakup. You had a bull flag, ABCD pattern on the one. Just so many things you could have traded off this BYND. Another one that traded very well, but I didn't catch it was Neo, guys. Neo had a nice pop, came back towards the VWAP. Look at the support happening here, and then takeoff. Several ways you could take this. If you're looking for ABCD pattern, there's one of the 5 minute. And if you're looking for the break of the high of the day, which is a great strategy, you get that here as well, and a beautiful continuation and then some. So again, just beautiful trade on Neo, and it really never looked back. If you got in anywhere below 1944, you had a pretty good time with this one if you had a good trade management and were patient. I mean, this thing just kept paying you the entire day today. So that was a nice one. Another one, MU. MU also had a nice big pop at the open, breakout out of the high of the pre-market, 50-10. This was also a good strategy. If it was not in BYND, I would think I would hopefully have taken this trade. But again, that's hindsight, right? But a beautiful trade here and a great continuation, which we have not seen out of MU in most recent times. SRNE was pretty choppy at the open. This is the one that gave people a pretty hard time, but then it settled down nicely and it traded very well. So again, a couple of stocks that traded great there. WKHS. This is what I don't like about this stock, guys. The opening choppiness you get out of this stock. This is what I don't like about it. So again, it did give you a drop here, but if you look at if you saw the price action, it was not clean. You have to be very fast and have a really good scalping strategy on your trade book to take advantage of a trade like this one. So there were so many more. Again, our list was pretty wild yesterday as we were trying to fine tune things. Let's get to what's gapping today. Again, there is not a whole lot in here that looks great, guys. A lot of low flow stocks. All this yellow here are very low flow stocks, as low as 997,000. So we'll get through this and see, if anything looks great today. But before we do that, let's get to the market pulse, see what's happening with the SPY, and what we can expect today and the rest of the week.
Well, it's kind of interesting. Futures were down huge overnight, and not huge, like 800 points huge, but down close to. When I got up this morning, they were down close to, I think, 300 points on the Dow. The SPY was, everything was down like close to 1%. So that would have been a big gap down. But everything is pulled back up. And every time I start talking, my dog decides to come in right now. I apologize. She's trying to scare off the haters. That's one reason I don't worry about it too much, is because I've got 3 pit bulls, and if anybody ever wanted to actually come to my house, they'd be met with fury. Anyway, so SPY was gapping down big. Market was gapping down big after this debate. And I don't think it's because, I watched it. I'm sure most people did. I don't know that there was a clear winner. I just think that the fact that there was a lot of bickering and back and forth and arguing, it was just ugly.
It was ugly.
There's this talk that the results are going to drag on, and the market likes nothing less than uncertainty. And I think that's a lot of what was showing up in the futures overnight. So anyway, we're actually, SPY just ticked positive here, just barely, where I'd call it essentially flat. VIX is essentially flat, up just a tiny bit. So, we'll see. It's like you said, the gappers list looks fairly terrible. The SPY has been sitting right around that 50 moving average that we broke through a week and a half ago, to the downside. Now it's trying to decide if it's going to be able to get back up above it. So let's see what the day has in store. As far as economic data this morning, we had the unemployment ADP employment report, which came through. I have not seen the numbers because we've been talking here. Mm-hmm. And then the second quarter revised GDP. So we've got Chicago PMI at 9:45, pending home sales 10 a.m. Fed President Neil Kashkari speaking at 11, and another Fed talking at 1:40. So smattering of things throughout the day.
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys, so let's get to it. Again, we have a interesting list this morning. I'm sure we're going to go through some of these pretty fast. Let's erase what we had here yesterday. Let's get in some new columns in here, or rows, and let's head down over to our gapping up list, see what we have here. So first we have PEC. PEC over here is low flow stock sitting at 1.8, and as a low flow, I'm not seeing anything great on it, to be honest. The 5-minute at the moment does not look decent. Their daily looks, again, pretty horrible. Does not mean that you cannot catch any scalping opportunities, but I think you need a better pre-market activity than this. We've seen some pretty good ones. This is definitely not on that list. So let's go on to the next one. Eton, another one that has been on our gappers list before, has not really traded well in the pre-market, although it gets 177. Look how choppy this pre-market activity is. This is not the type of price action you want to see. The daily also very low on volume. So for the most part, I'm not seeing anything great here pre-market wise. On to the next one, SPI, another low flow stock sitting at 8.4. Horrible daily. This thing was wild. Was it last week or the week before? Again, it went from $3, I think, at the open. It was probably lower than that, probably $1 or something, all the way up to 45 and came back down. The next day gapped up huge again and then slammed down here. So again, I don't know if this thing still has the juice to get going. For the most part, I'm not going to have it on my list. It's pre-market still looking interesting.
We I don't know if warn is the right word. Maybe it is. People against trading these low floats, especially if you're inexperienced trader. You can make a lot of money in them, and that's what is attractive to people, but you can also lose a lot of money, and it's usually that way instead of the more positive outcome for people that really don't know what they're doing. I will say this. If you're choosing to trade these, usually when you get that, you got to sit around. You got to be more patient on these than anything, I think. Mm-hmm. That first day pop, is a lot easier to trade than people trying to catch this third, fourth, fifth,
Yeah.
sixth day stuff when the volume. I mean, look at the volume. What happened on your daily chart there? The volume's completely dried up on this move. So maybe keep it on your watch list. See if some news comes out that causes it to get that same spike again. But I would say if you force a trade and try to find something here that doesn't exist, that's when you really have issues.
Yeah, yeah, you're gonna be in a lot of trouble. And again, just like you mentioned, just worth pointing out again, guys, the volume. Just look
I
at
mean,
this
the
volume
bottom
here.
line is
It's
their
just right
momentum
there.
plays, and momentum follows volume follows momentum. So it just tells you with zero volume going through these compared to that one day,
Hmm.
you don't have the momentum to trade it. So it becomes very difficult, and you're just kind of chasing, I don't know, pixie dust.
Exactly. Heading on down here, guys. DUK. DUK also not trading very well. Not a low flow stock, but man, it does look horrible pre-market. They're up 6.7, very light on the volume on their daily chart. So I'm not seeing anything great here. I like the pop. I wish I had a better pre-market activity. I wish I had a better daily. But we're not seeing that, so I'm going to skip on this. Next, NKLA, guys, this stock's just been, all over the place as far as news. This reminds me a little bit. Remember PCG? Once it gets down here, it starts becoming very choppy. It was great on the way down. We had a lot of opportunities when the stuff started happening and news started breaking out. Nothing but negative stuff. And then we had a couple of days with some bounces, but after that, it just got really choppy. And that's what we're seeing here over the last couple of days. Just a lot of chop. Let's take a look at it yesterday. It did get some down plays over here, possibly. But again, you can see that open is getting pretty choppy. So I'm not a fan of this stock with everything going on. So I'm going to just keep this off the radar for now. The BLNK. Now, this was up a couple of days ago. We had it on our watch list because it did gap up. I believe it was on the 22nd. Yeah, right here. Gapped up nicely. It seemed like it has some potential. We at least looked at it. I don't know if I actually kept it on my watch list. The last couple of days, you had a nice, beautiful bounce here. So we're back up towards these areas where we are getting above now. So the news could be significant on this. So this is kind of what we talked about, right? We had great volume here. It's slowly been climbing up here. So obviously something's happening here that's making it worth your while. As far as pre-market action, though, this is not great. I'm not seeing anything that I like pre-market wise. Possible a play here if it can get some good volume. Obviously, this is popping up nicely today on the daily. Let's see if it can get some momentum. SPI, we looked at XPEV. Pre-market action at the moment, not looking great. We do have 228,000. We are up 5%. As far as volume, very, very light, guys. I mean, we had a couple of days here in September where it was good. Is that when it IPO'd? All right, so great volume when it IPO. Since then, has not seen a whole lot of volume. Less than almost 5 million shares in some cases, or less than 5 million, some cases 3 million. So I'm not sure about this one. It does have an interesting daily though. Nice double bottom here. Can it break out and keep going? That could be an opportunity. I normally would not put a stock like this even on the possibles list, especially a recent IPO. But I like the daily here for some reason. Let's see if we can get something out of this. We'll come back to it. Neo, guys. Neo, great pre-market action this morning. This one, again, as I mentioned, traded very well yesterday. Broke out of this choppiness here, and again, just really never looked back. So pretty nice stuff happening here for Neo. They're now breaking all-time highs. This was an area of resistance that we hit yesterday around that 21 price target, a previous day close line right here. You can see that. And we're up again 4.4 today with great volume. So that will be the first one on our list today. Looks very good this morning. LI, horrible pre-market action. Let's skip on this one. mRNA.
I've not seen a lot of good trades out of LI. I've had it, just looked at it a few times, and I've just never seen anything that looks quality there.
Yeah. And again, just pre-market is showing that right now too. It doesn't look great at all. Although you might look at yesterday's chart, right, and say, well, Carlos, this is trending nicely. But if you look at the actual price action, you will see that this is horrible trading as far as price action. You're not getting the volume in here, so that's concerning. All right, so I will skip on that. mRNA, this is one that we have looked at quite a bit in the past. What do we have going on today? Their daily does look interesting. Big pop yesterday after hours, Norm. Earnings or some kind of, I don't think we had any earnings scheduled for yesterday, but we had a nice big pop after hours. So I'm not sure what that is about.
They had I believe they had some positive trial results, and I also think the president, did he mention them? I know they were talking about COVID and vaccines and stuff.
Yeah.
I know there was some talk of Moderna yesterday.
Hmm.
So anyway, just a couple things there.
Yeah. Yeah. So he
Yeah, he
did
did. He
mention
did
that.
mention.
Okay.
Yeah, he did because there's a few
We
candidates that he talked about
hmm.
with a vaccine that's kind of getting close to what he says is an end, and that's one of them. So I think that's part of
So
what the pop was.
that makes sense. All right, so what do we have here, guys? The day looks interesting. I think possible potential to have at least on our secondary list. So let's throw it on here. Up 3.1, 171,000. Pre-market action is not great, but I like that we're above this 70 price target, price area that we were having a lot of resistance here. You can see here over the 2 months or so, we couldn't get above the
Yeah.
70. We're above that now. I like what I'm seeing there. Baba on our list, it is up 2.6 as well, breaking out nicely out of this 220, 277 area. Pre-market action, not all that great, but Baba doesn't tend to have all that great pre-market action. I'll throw it on here. I'm not sure it's going to stay there for me personally, but it's definitely in play today. NCLH, we have CCL on the list as well. So some of these cruise liners active, not as a great pre-market action, but I do like the daily on NCLH. Possible breakout here out of an area that was prior support and resistance recently as well here. So interesting what I'm seeing there. Let's look at CCL, which one looks better. CCL, slightly more volume, but not all that great. I'm on the fence on these guys. Again, we've seen what these look like when they are in play. I mean, the volume is just incredible. So I'm going to put both of them NC, excuse me, let's fix this. NCLH. We'll come back to them. Let's see if they get better. HTHT, horrible. Couple of block trades here, not really creating any action. JWN, this stock, guys, is up 2.4. Horrible pre-market action, but Nordstrom is a very difficult stock to trade. So I'm not going to keep it on here unless we see it in our turbo breakup scanners with some heavy volume, hitting some high of days or something. I'm not going to keep this on here. All right, so that covers our gapping up list. We went through that pretty fast because, again, a lot of stuff on there does not look great, so we skip right through most of that. There's some other ones popping up here. CRDF, nothing good there. Let's go over to what's gapping down. U1, this one has made a lot of noise in the past in our gappers list, gapping down. I think it was in August. You see how many times we had this thing dropping here. At the moment, they are down another 9.8 after trying to push up here. For the most part, pre-market guys not looking great. I don't like how the volume is set up on this one. They had a couple of big days. The last 3 days have had some really good volume compared to how they normally trade. But for the most part, I'm just not liking this. Let's go to PLL. Oh my God! Even notice the float, 997,000.
Oh yeah,
That would never be
he
on my
wants
list.
tiny float.
Mm-mm. No way. PLL. This one, guys, another low flow stock. This was reminds me of the one we just talked about. Where was it? Was it Peck? Yeah, was it Peck or just forgot which one it was. I had a huge SPI. Right, you had a big day already on here. Same thing with PLL. You had a real big day here with some good volume. Now is when it starts getting worrisome on these low flow stocks. This is 7.6.
Mm-hmm.
So just be mindful. I'm not going to have it on my list. Short selling restrictions. You do have inventory for sure. Be very careful. Look at the spread. The spread is almost what we're looking at, 20 cents here. Plus, just be careful with that. And that's a horrible spread for a low flow, even at the pre-market. You want to see that very tight spread and good pre-market action. MU is on our list. MU might be worth keeping on our list here. I'm gonna put it on the top. I think MU traded very well yesterday, right at the open. They're down today quite a bit here, 3.7. Pre-market action is starting to get going, not quite there yet. But I like what I'm seeing so far. Let's see if we can get any kind of movement out of that. SRNE also has been very active pre-market right now. Has great volume, 418. Not a great pre-market action though, as far as price. So I'm on the fence on this one. I'm gonna throw it on here for now. Let's see if it gets better. Um, I know a lot of people trade this one. I have never had any successful trades on SRNE, not that I could think of. So I'm on the fence of usually taking them towards the off the list. So let's see what happens there. All right, let's head over to you, Norm. What do you have in your end? No, there's not a lot that looks great today.
Yeah, I'm still looking, man. Beyond after yesterday's move might still be in play. Keep an eye on that. So, still
Okay,
looking. I'll
beyond.
throw something out. Hopefully, the room has some
Yeah,
good
looking forward to
finds.
that. Yeah, beyond great day yesterday, possible continuation today. I do agree with that. Let's see if we can get some volume in here. Although yesterday, no volume into that last couple of minutes there when it started just going crazy. All right, let's start with what do we have here? Let's go up a little more. Let's start with Hector, or no, KT. JD is he says JD daily looks interesting. I agree. JD's got a nice daily here. Baba looks a little bit better though, and it has a lot more volume. So I think Baba today is. I have it on my list here. JD can trade nice if it gets the volume, so be on the lookout. Good secondary. But I have Baba here, so I'm not gonna add JD. I'll look for that in the scanners. Again, daily does look great though. I see what you're looking at. MU we have on our list. I think MU traded great yesterday. Nice drop here into the after the market open. So let's see if we can get something continuation out of this. Down 3.7, decent volume. 438 is good volume for MU. In the pre-market, again, we've seen better, but this is not horrible for MU today. Next, Dkng. This is another one that's been on our list quite a bit. Their pre-market is starting to get to look pretty nice after 8:30 here. So horrible pre-market action before that. We're starting to get a little bit of volume here, getting some couple of nice candles. Their daily chart does look great, guys. Look at this area of resistance here, consolidated right below that. We're breaking up higher, so now that's becoming support, that 55, 56, which is basically your very close to your previous day close. I do like DKNG actually. It looks pretty good today. Let's see if we can get some momentum going here towards this 58, 60 levels that we have from the highs of the last two trading days. Uh, Rosa is giving us plug. Plug is a stock that again usually does not trade very well, guys. It's horrible pre-market action right now. It's got some volume, but again, it's not a great trading stock. You might find a couple of days here and there where it does something, but you really need some kind of catalyst on this thing. It needs to be gapping up nicely for it to get a good move. That's just my perspective on it. And even then, you'll be lucky if you get something good going out of it. Here's BA. BA also was interesting yesterday. Had some volume. Actually, not yesterday. It was 2 days ago. Had some good volume here after it had a bang up day on Friday. On Monday, did very well as well. I do like their daily possible continuation. They're not up by much at the moment, so not worth to put on our main list. I'm gonna put it here as a possible. We'll come back to that one. Let's look at Apple. Apple this morning. Apple's great volume as usual. 1.7 million shares traded right now. A little bit of a choppiness from 6:30 to about 8 o'clock. We're starting to break out of here. We're actually trying to get green at the moment. I think it's worth taking a look at. A lot of it of this going to depend on the SPY on the market. As you know, again, the SPY this morning is pretty much flat. But man, like you mentioned, Norm, this thing was down a lot. It was down all the way over here at around the 329.
Yeah.
It has recovered quite a bit. So again, this is a big move here. This is a real big move this morning in the pre-market, although you might not see it in the percentage wise. It looks pretty flat, but we'll see. We'll see if that momentum can continue. A couple of times we've seen the market open and just kind of slam down. We saw that yesterday. Let's see what's in store for us today. Let's head down to ITRM. What time we got? 6:54. ITRM. Yeah, this is probably something I'm not going to be watching. Penny stock, guys, sitting at 70 cents, breaking out of $1 with some good volume here. 26 million shares traded. Be very, very careful with this type of stock, guys. These are the stocks that you can really lose your shirt if you don't manage risk correctly. And more importantly, if you don't have an edge, you got to have an edge to trade this. And usually the way we trade, these are not good candidates for what we're looking to do here. Let's look at Piton. Take a look at that. No volume, guys. Pretty flat right now. Not much going on. Let's see if it hits our scanners. We can look at it, but not a whole lot going on with Piton at the moment. And look at it yesterday. Didn't have no volume. Had a rough start. It then got a little bit better. So maybe might not have a great start today as well. We'll see. Then it got great after what 10 o'clock, 30 minutes after the market opened. Traded real nice. So again, just a reminder to keep an eye on the scanners if you see something popping up that you want to swing into. I'll take a look at. All right, let's do a few more and then we'll go over to our YouTube chat. AMD's daily does look interesting. The volume is too light though. Mainly moving with the SPY. As you can see, the SPY was down here, so it's not really doing anything on its own. I'm gonna keep it off for now, but if we see the SPY heading heavily into one direction, you go to your favorites, you go to your AMD, you go to your Apple, you go to your even Tesla sometimes. These stocks, Nvidia, these stocks can move with the market if the market decides to pull heavily in one direction. Um, all right, guys, let's take a break here from our chat. Just can't get to everybody. Good suggestion, guys. Very good. Let's look at our YouTube chat. What do we have? Let's start with space. Actually, AMD we looked at. So we start with Nuno, SRNE. We have that on the list. We'll take a look at that. Next, we have space. Space right now, pre-market. I'm not seeing anything great on space, guys. I had a good day on Monday. I'm not seeing anything good at the moment, so I'm going to keep it off the list. ITRM, we just discussed. Again, very low flow stock. Just be very careful with that one. Actually, did anyone check the flow? It was a penny stock, so I'm sure. Yeah, 13.8. So careful with that penny stock that's breaking out now. NKLA, again, guys, this stock is one of those stocks where it's just getting scary to trade. So just be careful. Yesterday it did drop and then became choppy after that. I'm not gonna have it on my list. Not until things settle down and we get some clarification what's gonna happen with all this fraud stuff happening. I'm just gonna keep it off for now. Disney. Well, we can't tell you if it's going to be a short or not. So Jay's asking if this is going to be a short. That we will never know in the pre-markets. But as far as putting on our watch list, it is down 1.1, starting to pick up some volume here. So worth taking a closer look at later on today. I'm not sure if there's any news on Disney or what's causing this drop. But yeah, we'll take a look at Disney, see what's going on here. Their daily, though, is really all over the place last couple of days. Disney was great when it releases any type of news catalyst. Disney trades very good. And Norm, I think you had some pretty good trades this year on Disney as we were watching this. But again, if we don't have any catalyst and no volume, it's not really a good ticker to watch. All right, last one, Zoom. Interesting. Zoom has a nice double top here on the daily. Interesting, but pre-market, man, it's really all over the place. And again, this stock now that is hitting these numbers, man, it's been very difficult to read the price action. So I'm gonna keep it off for now. But I see what you're looking at. This has a beautiful double top here on the daily. We're back in this area of prior resistance that was prior that has been support a couple of recent days here. Interesting what's going to happen with this previous day close line. Very interesting. All right. With that said, guys, let's head over to our community announcements. We'll come back and take a look at this list further.
Yeah, guys. So tonight, success webinar, 8 p.m. Eastern, is Mark Randall, partner of Stephen Goldstein, that we have had in the chat before, or in the success webinars before. He'll be talking about a collection of the worst trades he's ever seen. So can't wait to see that one. Next week, 8 p.m. Eastern. Excuse me, special time, 5 p.m. Eastern. Because of the time zone he's in, is Eamon talking about developing a trade book for becoming a consistently profitable trader. Last night was Nada's webinar, getting intimate with our thoughts and emotions, becoming mindful about trading. Sophie, hush. You're not doing a success webinar. Next week is Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, is Town Hall with Dr. Katz. He'll have two traders talking about over trading, kind of a small group therapy session. The last time he did this, it really had amazing reviews. So, we had Mark Randall as well. We've had so many great success webinars. I forget how many, what we've had. So thank you. Trade of the day, trade of the week. Guys, we're giving away top of the line iPhone each and every week. You get started by entering the trade of the day. Here are the rules for that. Take a screenshot of your best trade of that day, mark it up, post your entries, exits, strategy. Carlos, can you flip to the next slide? Entries, exit, strategy. Post it on Twitter. Tag at BearBullTraders, at MikeB_BBT, and at NormBBT. Also use the hashtags BBT Family, Day Trading, and Stock Market. Winner will be announced in the closing bell show and on Twitter every day. Then we'll take those each trade of the day for the week, and the team will vote, and whoever gets the most votes will win trade of the week. And that person will have the opportunity to win the iPhone for the trade of the week. If you guys take a look in the alert section above, you should find a link to the forum that'll have all the rules and information on doing that. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube, haven't been in the chat, you can do so at a discount. Use the promo code PREMARKET24. That'll get you a discount off the intro membership. That is 7 calendar days, 5 trading days, unless there's a market holiday. It also includes Carlos's onboarding class each and every Monday night, 8 p.m. live in the classroom. Doesn't auto renew or turn into any other kind of membership. Also, if you're interested in becoming a lifetime member or upgrading your membership to lifetime, use the promo code FALL35 for 35% off the lifetime membership. And guys, as I said at the beginning of the hour, we have amassed a couple of haters that at least one that gives us the dislike every morning on YouTube before we even start speaking. I think it's Carlos's ex-girlfriend from years ago that is still angry with him for whatever reason. So anybody over there, if you would give a thumbs up, sincerely appreciate it.
All right, thank you, Norman. Appreciate that. All right, guys, let's jump over to our list here. Let's do some levels and find out. First, let's scan it. Let's see if we have anything great here that we can use today. So let me just go over here. All right, perfect. All right, let's start off with Neo. So Neo right now, guys, looks good. Great pre-market action, great volume, amazing day yesterday. So looking forward to this one today. Again, looking has everything going for it this morning compared to everything else we have here. It's probably one of the best pre-market actions that we're seeing at the moment. Here is Baba. Baba, for the most part, also great pre-market action. This stock usually does not have a huge pre-market action, but today they're up huge, man. 2.6. A nice breakout out of this previous day close line out of this 280 area of resistance, closer to 277. So I like this one today as well. MU, good possible. SRNE. Wow, look at this pop on SRNE. Just a couple of what's this? 50 cent here out of nowhere. So SRNE is looking really good this morning. They're daily showing a lot of strength here as well over the last couple of days. So like what we're seeing there. BYND, possible continuation, guys. I might move this down to a possible. We're still not getting any volume on it. So it might be a top possible today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so it's BYND. Let's bring this one down. We'll throw that one there. Let's remove it from our main list here. And then we have DKNG. So DKNG at the moment, great pre-market action, guys. Volume starting to come in nicely on this one. 163,000, worth keeping on our list. So that's good. Apple also has a great pre-market action. This is a good one also, depending if the SPY and the market overall is going to trade great in one direction. Obviously, they don't have their own news today. There's no catalyst driving Apple at the moment. But again, a great pre-market action, some good liquidity here, and some good volume, 1.2 million shares traded. So that is what we have so far. Let's take a look at our possible, see if anything is looking great at the moment. BA is not too bad. BA is looking decent. Blink, okay. XPL, no, not good. mRNA, so. Let's keep an eye on the cruise lines, because they're starting to pick up some volume here. CCL at 579 now, so it's starting to look at a really good pre-market action, up 2.3. So that might be a good one to look at before, when we're done with levels. Let's start with Neo, guys. Let's get some levels in here. Let's start over with Neo, high of the pre-market 2185, so that looks good. Let's mark that down. Slightly above that, we actually don't have anything above that, because pre-market all-time high is 2185, so let's mark that down. Then towards the bottom, guys, previous day close, high from yesterday, and then right in here, this is a minor area of support and resistance, right? Don't put a lot of weight into this one. You're not seeing a huge change in direction. 1984, there you have a couple of days opening and closing around that area. And again, that's looking pretty good there. And then towards the bottom, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Here is Baba. Baba at the moment, high of the pre-market sitting at 284. Great level there. Towards the bottom, we do have the low of the pre-market over at 282.32. So let's mark that down. If we can break out of here, towards the top, we have a nice level here at 290. Another one slightly over at a 292, and then all the way up here, of course, at 298. Towards the bottom, guys, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days pretty much got you covered there. Here is MU. So MU, for the most part, you got a lot of levels towards the top, guys. This thing has been chopping around, has been pretty choppy on the daily. Towards the bottom, you have the low of the pre-market showing a lot of support in here as well. If we were to lose that, another great level would be here around 46.95, and then maybe slightly over here around 46. That's a good area. Got a lot of resistance here, and good support as well for that one. So again, not looking all that great. I might take this one off my list. We'll see how that turns out. Here, SRNE. SRNE starting to get going nicely. It popped up to 1195, pulling back a little bit here. So let's see what develops. I'm going to mark the high of the pre-market for now, the low of the pre-market over 1114. And then towards the top, we do have a 1317 as well. So let's leave that there for now. Again, this is not typically a stock that I would trade, but today let's keep it on here. Let's see what we can get out of it. Dkng, great pre-market action at the moment. High of the pre-market sitting at 57.12. We're stuck between the highs and lows of the last 2 trading days, so a lot of congestion in here. A previous day close towards the bottom, 55.56. And then we have a couple, nice level here at 51.45 if we were to lose these two levels we have here. Last one will be on Apple, guys. Again, I'm not going to put too much weight on this. We know what this is at 8 a.m. Usually you have these markets, post these transactions. I'm going to put a lot more weight on this 114.23. We climbed up there. We saw rejection around the previous day close, and now we're dropping down a bit. So that's an area that I want to keep an eye on. Above that, the highs from the last two trading days, your low of the pre-market, basically the low from 2 days ago. So do not need to mark that. That's already marked there for you. And then down here, we do have 110. 110.21, a good level of support and then resistance as well in a couple of days here. Guys, we do have, I want to bring in actually a little surprise this morning for our webinar tonight. We know we have a special guest. Let's see if he is on the line here. I'm going to bring him in a second. He's joining us. He's calling us. Okay, I see him there. He's calling in. Here we go. Good morning, Mark. How are you doing today?
Can't hear anything.
Yes, we can actually hear you pretty good.
I don't think he can hear us,
Oh,
Carlos.
he can't hear us. All right,
I can hear you now.
Oh, there we go.
Can you
Good
hear
morning,
me?
Mark. How are you doing today?
Yes.
For those that don't know,
Whoa.
Mark is doing a success webinar
How you
for
doing,
us
guys?
tonight, and he is going to be doing, I guess a set of
Am I
the
loud
worst
and clear?
trades you've ever seen.
I think he can hear me, Carlos, but he cannot hear you. Is what I'm gathering from this.
Oh, okay. So Norm, go ahead and ask the
Can
questions.
you
I'll
hear
pull
me?
back.
Yes, Mark. I can hear you. The room can hear you. You're going to be doing a success webinar for us this evening, and I just get a kick out of this title and your experience with the collection of the worst trades you've ever seen. Can you dive a little bit into that?
Well, after 40 years in futures, you kind of see a few things and chat about stories and pick up some real horrors of mistakes and simple mistakes that people make. And when we were sort of putting together the ideas for this series, I thought, well, actually, why don't I just recollect from obviously my own direct source, but also others that I've spoken to in the market through that journey, and just reflect some of those into, the 45-minute session we're going to be running a bit later on today. Some of them will make you cry. Some of them will make you laugh. One of them continues to make me laugh 15 years after it happened. So it'd be just good to share those things with you. The bottom line is the market's not easy, but if we can all have a laugh about it, but learn something in the process, then, fantastic.
No, it's awesome. We had one trader actually in the room. He goes, "I'm not sure I need to watch it. All I need to do is open my own journal." So it should be a lot of fun. And it goes without saying in these things, it always feels better to end the trade in the day with your best trade, but you often learn the most from your worst.
Yeah, it's an absolute education. All of these things, other people learn from them, and actually, as part of the dialogue later, I'll share some of well, this is what people did to actually, sort of move on from there and let go from that experience. Some of them didn't. Some of them let go totally from the market. Some of them collapsed as a result of some of these stupid trades. It's sort of it's a collective of things that happen that are just a lesson for us all. Really, some of them are so simple. And it's just also interesting to understand how other people are using things to trade. Because a lot of people think, well, why the hell would you do that? But an awful lot of people do stupid things. And when they're after money, when they're after dollars, to put in their pension fund, they'll do anything to try to get those dollars in. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it. And I'm really grateful for you guys hosting it.
No, we can't wait to have you. I can't wait to see it this evening. And it's all those bad trades. They can stick with, like you said, 15 years. You laugh about it 15 years after seeing it, but as a trader, if you're the one that makes that critical mistake and has a really bad trade, if it doesn't take you out of the game, it can still affect your mindset in a way which really functions the way in which you operate and how effective you can be.
Yeah, it's all about mindset. If you've got anything that disturbs the force of your mindset, then you need to start paying some real attention to it, and understand where the distraction to take you away from that mindset comes from. And some of that distraction is where you just get stuck in the loop of replaying those negative trades and just not moving on.
Absolutely. Well, we're looking forward to it, and can't wait to see you tonight, Mark.
Well, hopefully I'm not asleep because I started, I think, at 1 a.m. London time. So, but I'm going to
Take a nap.
Yeah, I'll have a bottle of bourbon on the side just in case.
I was going to say, I'd be more worried about being drunk by that time than asleep, but maybe both. So
Maybe both. But I guess need Uncle Carlos to just send me a diary invite for that time, because with the UK-US difference, you can sometimes get the difference slightly wrong. So I just want to make sure I hit the deck running at the right time for you guys. Looking forward to it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We'll get it over to you. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah, all the very best. Take care, guys.
Take care.
Thank you, Mark, for that. Cannot wait for that webinar, guys. It's going to be pretty good. All right, guys. So we finished off our levels from NEO, BABA, MU, SRNE, DKNG, and Apple. That's what I have on my list. Let's go over to our moderators and see what they have on their lineup this morning. Let's start with Thor. He's watching NEO, MU, BYND, and AMD. Peter's watching AMD, NEO, Disney, JP Morgan, American Airlines. Mike has the break of high scanners as usual. He likes BA and BABA this morning. He's sticking with the B and A's today. Eamon has a Tesla, SRNE. NEO on his secondary list. He likes BYND, PENN, DKNG. Tiffany has NEO, SRNE on her main list. Apple, Tesla, and MU. So very, as you can see, guys, pretty much everybody's watching about 2 or 3 stocks, not a whole lot. Because again, there's not all that great stuff out there today. So we'll see. We usually get surprised and we end up with something great here. Next, we have High of Day Breakout. John, he's watching BABA, Tesla, NVIDIA. Brian has SRNE, NEO, WKHS, Disney, and ITRM for some possible fun. Again, ITRM, guys, is a very, it's more of a penny stock. So be very careful with that one. All right, guys, that is what we have. Oh, Jared's coming in with BABA, AMD, NEO, Tesla, and he's watching Oxy and a 10 price point as well. So we'll see what happens there. All right, man. I think this is all we have, guys. Again, as we saw yesterday, you do not need a huge list. You know, the BYND was perfect. Came in trading very well yesterday. So it just shows you just be patient. All you need is one good trade here to get going. Let's see what we can get out of this market open. Bob is starting to trade real nice above the pre-market highs here. So looking forward to that. Let's fine tune our secondary list. BYND is okay. Disney, I'm going to remove. Again, I think you need some news and catalysts to really get this going. BA right now is okay. I like BA. BLNK, possible continuation here. It's had a couple of good days here. XPEV, I'm on the fence on this one. We'll leave it for now. mRNA is starting to look really good, guys. Dropping here, some good pre-market action at the moment, so that looks good. And then a CCL, I think I'm going to move up CCL. We're getting a very good volume on CCL, so I think that one's going to be in play today. Let's definitely get that in there. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Have a great trading day. Reminder, tonight we have our success webinar at 8 p.m. with Mark. Cannot wait for that one. It's going to be a good one. We will see you there. Take care and trade safe, everyone. See you tomorrow.